What kind of coward mocks a deaf kid's hands dancing with words, then expects to walk away unscathed? That's the question that burned through Maple Grove last summer, when two fake HOA cops thought they could bully a 10-year-old boy and not face the wrath of a grandfather forged in war. Let me take you back to that Saturday, where the air smelled of charcoal and justice, and one man's silence roared louder than any shout. It was a perfect morning in our quiet neighborhood, the kind where birds chirp like they're auditioning for a Disney movie and sprinklers hum in rhythm. Our house, nestled at the corner of Oak Lane and Sycamore, sat under a towering maple that had outlasted storms and city planners alike. I was at the grill, brushing my famous whiskey honey glaze over ribs, a recipe I'd honed for decades, part craft, part therapy. The sizzle was my soundtrack, but the real music was Ethan's laugh. If you've never heard a deaf child laugh, you're missing something pure. It's soft, like a breeze with a sense of humor, bubbling up from his chest in quick, joyful bursts. Ethan, my grandson, was sprawled on the sidewalk with the Carter twins, Mia and Jack, both 7, and Convine said he was the coolest kid alive. He was teaching them to sign. Velociraptor. His hands clawing the air, feet stomping for effect. Their giggles filled the street. My daughter, Sarah, stepped out from the kitchen, juggling a pitcher of lemonade, her apron dusted with flour from baking cornbread. Her smile was warm, the kind that comes from knowing your people are safe and close. But that smile vanished when tires crunched gravel. A black SUV, the kind that blends into traffic like a shadow, crept along our curb. No plates, just a tacky decal screaming, "HOA Compliance Unit," in block letters, like something ordered off a sketchy website. 2 men climbed out, moving like they'd rehearsed their tough guy act. Black cargo pants, combat boots, polos with a stitched logo, no names, no IDs. One was tall, buzz-cut, mirrored shades hiding his eyes. The other was shorter, wiry, with a smirk that screamed trouble. Sarah called out, "Can I help you?" They ignored her. Buzzcut zeroed in on Ethan, squinting like he was studying a zoo exhibit. "What's he vying his hands for? Casting spells?" The words hit like a punch. Cruel, sharp, mocking. Sarah stepped between them and Ethan, her voice steady but fierce. "He's signing. He's deaf." Buzzcut didn't flinch. "Oh, great," he muttered, yanking a cheap clipboard from his belt. "That explains the sidewalk violation." Sarah blinked. "Excuse me?" The wiry one flipped through pages like he was quoting scripture. "Violation 4A, unauthorized gatherings. 6C, obstructive gestures. 11F, unlicensed communication by a minor." I laughed under my breath, thinking it was a joke. But Sarah's face said otherwise. Ethan, behind her, looked lost, his hands still. "He's 10, Sarah said, each word a blade. "He's showing his friends how to sign Velociraptor. This is our property." Buzzcut stepped closer, looming over her. "Lady, kids like him make folks uneasy." "Silent flailing? It's unsettling." Sarah's breath hitched. "You did not just say that." Wiry laughed, a nasal cackle straight out of a schoolyard bully's playbook. "Mute kids got an attitude, huh?" Ethan shrank back, his joy drained, hands dropping like wilted flowers. His Spider-Man shirt snagged on the rose bushes as he stumbled. I dropped my basting brush. It clattered on the grill, but I was already moving. The air turned sour, barbecue sweetness replaced by the sting of adrenaline and shame. Sarah stood like a shield, her breath shallow, hand twitching like she might swing. The neighborhood went quiet, not silent, but wrong. Blinds twitched. Doors cracked open. Phones hovered behind curtains, filming, watching, but no one stepped up. Wiry pointed at Ethan, his voice louder. "Got a permit for this street mime act, or are we just freestyling?" Then he mocked Ethan's signs, flailing his arms in twisted, exaggerated shapes, jaw slack like a cruel caricature. "This how you talk, kid? Neighborhood puppet show?" Ethan froze, his lip trembling, eyes wide with disbelief. Sarah snapped, "Stop it! Now!" Wiry grinned. "Why? He can't hear me." Buzzcut snorted, a sharp, ugly sound. He leaned into Sarah's space, breath reeking of mint gum and arrogance. This isn't your house, is it? Sarah's jaw locked. It's my father's. We're here every weekend, unlike you two playing dress-up. Buzzcut's eyes narrowed. You're interfering with an HOA investigation. This kid's breaking multiple bylaws. We've had complaints. Sarah scoffed. From who? That's restricted. His hand hovered near a bulky holster taser toy. Who knew? Wiry rattled off more fake violations. 3B, distracting juveniles. 5C, unauthorized display. 10A, non-compliance. I stepped forward. I've lived here 31 years. We don't have compliance protocols. You're full of it. They ignored me. Sarah shook her head. You're fining a deaf child for signing. That's what this is. Wiry shrugged. His signs looked aggressive. Ethan was shaking now, hands rigid, overwhelmed. He signed, small and quick. I want to go inside. Sarah touched his arm, whispering. Not yet. She faced the men. I don't care what fake rules you spout. You don't humiliate a kid on our land. Buzzcut smirked. This sidewalk's HOA turf, lady. Our rules. That's when the screen door creaked. My father, Robert Mitchell, stepped out. 80 years old, retired Army Ranger, a man carved from granite and grit. White hair, weathered face, faded gray t-shirt tucked into crisp jeans. His boots were silent, but his presence hit like a thunderclap. The men froze. Even the birds hushed. Buzzcut stammered. Sir, just HOA business. No issue here. Robert didn't blink. His eyes swept the scene. Ethan's fear, Sarah's rage, the torn rose bush where Ethan had stumbled. He signed to Ethan, clean and simple. You okay? Ethan nodded faintly. Want me to stop this? Another nod, small but certain. Robert exhaled, calm, like a soldier stepping into a storm he'd walked through 100 times. He moved. Not fast, not loud, but inequality table. 3 steps down the porch, each one a silent drumbeat. Buzzcut's hand twitched toward his belt. Robert stopped, mid-lawn, shadow falling like a guillotine. Buzzcut raised an arm, half shielding, half reaching. Robert was already there, fingers locking Buzzcut's wrist, twisting with surgical precision. A pivot, a sweep. Buzzcut crumpled, breath gone, face in the mulch. His shades flew into the shrubs. Wiry yelped, clipboard sailing, and bolted. Robert didn't chase. He grabbed the garden hose, whipped it like a lasso. It snapped around Wiry's ankles, and he face-planted on the asphalt, groaning, blood trickling from his nose. The street held its breath. Then doors opened. Voices rose. Mrs. Larson gasped. Tom Reed filmed, muttering, "About damn time." A kid on a bike yelled, "Is that guy bleeding?" The crowd swelled, phones up, murmurs turning to shouts. "They hassled my porch swing! Threatened my dog!" Robert stood, still, sunlight carving his shadow into the lawn. Ethan stepped forward, past the broken clipboard, and signed, "Thank you." Robert's eyes softened. He signed back, "You're safe." The video hit the internet like wildfire. By dusk, it had 2 million views. Sirens came late, 23 minutes, Sarah noted. 2 real cops, Officers Torres and Bennett, arrived, calm and professional. Sarah showed them the footage, Wiry mocking Ethan, Robert's takedown. Torres's jaw tightened. My niece signs. I'd have done worse. They found fake IDs, pepper spray, and a police scanner in the SUV. The men were charged with impersonation, fraud, and assault. It wasn't just them. Doorbell cams and neighbor stories revealed a scam ring terrorizing suburbs. News vans rolled in. Ethan signed for the cameras, proud. I taught my friend's dinosaur. Grandpa stopped the mean men. The clip went national, dubbed. The day silence roared. Views hit 9 million. Comments poured in. I cried when the boy signed thank you. My son's deaf. This man's a hero. The American Deaf Association called. Ethan, wise beyond his years, signed, "If kids see me, they won't feel small." 2 weeks later, we painted a mural on the sidewalk, a giant "I love you" in ASL, Ethan's design. Neighbors helped, Robert watched, and Maple Grove changed. "Some fights," he said later, sipping coffee, "aren't worth words. But when they are, silence can scream."